Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. I am such a doodler. I think I just made up a word. But while I'm on the phone, I find that I doodle constantly. I also do it while I'm in bed watching TV at night sometimes. But today I doodled that cute little bouquet of flowers, and I liked it so much that I decided I wanted to paint it. So I got a piece of printer paper and I drew it out again in pencil. And here I'm using a fine liner to go over the pencil lines because I am going to trace my image onto watercolor paper using my light box. And these old eyes need defined lines, so to make my life easier. So once I was finished outlining it in black, I brought it down to my studio and I used my light box to trace it onto ball hung watercolor paper. This paper comes in a block, so I did have to remove the sheet to be able to use my light box. And I did leave the pencil lines a little bit darker than I normally would so that you would be able to see them on camera. And for this painting, I am using the charging technique. And for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, what charging is, it's a wet on wet technique where you mix colors directly on the paper. And it's done by loading your brush with color and adding a brush stroke or dabbing your brush to a damp paper surface. So for example, you see here that I am using a diluted consistency of that orange color. I'm giving it a second to soak into the paper, and then I'm adding a little bit of either a darker or different color or a darker version of the same color, or a more concentrated version of the same color. So you see here that I've added the diluted yellow to those petals, and then I'm using a heavier consistency of the orange to add to the base of each of those petals. And once I've added the color, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not touching it. I'm going to allow it to blend on the paper on its own. Watercolor is magical, and if you just don't fiddle with it too much, you'll be surprised at the results. And that's how I'm going to do this entire painting. Again, you can see here I'm adding this green to these leaves. And then I'm choosing a different color and I'm adding it to the base and some of the tips of the leaves. This is a really easy technique. The trick is knowing to let it soak into the paper a little bit before you charge in a second color. If your paper is too wet or if you have too much water on that area, the paint that you add will just sit on top and you'll get blooms. It just doesn't work the same. So I would recommend practicing on a piece of scrap paper. And once you have it down, you'll really enjoy it because, like I said, the results are just beautiful and it's very, very easy. Now, I'm using my Shinhan. I believe that's how it may be pronounced. I may be butchering it. I'm not sure. But those are the watercolors that I'm using. This was the first set of 2 paints that I ever purchased. And I actually forgot I had them because I have so many that it was in the bottom of my drawer. And I pulled it out not knowing what it was, and I'm so glad that I found them because I really like these paints and I enjoy painting with them. So I'm also using my silver black velvet brushes. Now I'm not going to talk through this entire video because I've already explained the technique that I'm using, and again it's really simple, but I'm going to let you watch this painting unfold. But before I go, I wanted to let you know that at the end of the video, I'm going to post a picture of the finished painting as well as the line drawing that you saw me create in the beginning of the video, in case you would like to give this painting a try for yourself. You can simply pause the video and take a screenshot of the line drawing and then print it out. And you'll notice that I changed my painting a little bit. Once I traced it, I made a couple of changes, which is a wonderful thing that you can do when you're tracing using any method really. But I do that often, and it's just a little bit different. You probably won't even notice. But if you do decide to give this painting a try, I would love it if you would share it with me, and you can do that if you join our Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials. I created that group so that my viewers would have a place to share their versions of the paintings and techniques learned on this channel. I'd love to see what you do and your version of my paintings. So I hope that you consider joining and that I see you there. We have such a great group of members that are very supportive, very talented, and very, very kind. So like I said, I hope I see you there. Check out the description box for links to the products that I'm using. I'm adding one link, and if you click on it, it will take you to my Amazon store where I have all the products linked. If you have any questions or just want to say hello, leave it in the comments. I read every single comment and I answer every single question. And I want to thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoy watching me paint this, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.